is for you.
Yes, sir. What is going on? We are live, baby. We back. It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco. It's Philly the podcast, man. You know how we do. It's a live call-in show. We're doing something a little different this week. You know what I'm saying? Usually Sunday we just come in here, we complain about what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? But this week we're gonna let y'all complain a little bit too. So it's gonna be a fun one. But before we drop the link and we get into all that, we'll let the chat warm up a little bit. How are you feeling about this Sunday, man? We got Jalen Hurts finally about to take that start. JP out. We got a lot of headlines, but how are you feeling, man?
It was a whirlwind of a week, obviously, because you got the whole Carson Wentz benching officially, and then you have JP out for the season, not even the game. So it's just like, damn, my dude just stole a couple quick mills and is like, all right, time to get some toe surgery. I mean, it is what it is. Good for him. He'll be set for life. But it's been a whirlwind, and it's hard to be optimistic. Like, I want Jalen to do well. It's not even like the Carson versus Jalen thing. I want him to do well. It's just, of course, the one time he starts, we're going against a team that Nick Foles can't beat, McNabb can't beat, and Wentz can't be. Like, this is a Saints, and Jeff Garcia couldn't be. Like, for some reason, the Saints have had our number for years, and it's unfortunate that the one time Jalen's going to go in, or if he's going in for the rest of the season, his first game is against a team that's hitting on all cylinders right now. It's not even a bad Saints team where they're kind of in a funk. This is a 10-2. I was trying to look to see what their weaknesses are, and they don't really have any. You literally have to play all three phases super well. Like, we're going to need a special teams touchdown, a defensive touchdown, an offense touchdown. Like, we're going to need everyone to put their hands in if we're going to try to win this game.
Yeah, it's gonna, like I said, it's going to be a very interesting game. I mean, I said this the other day. I'm like irrationally excited about this game for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to see it play out. I know that this is probably going to be the toughest. This is probably going to be the toughest opening day for a quarterback that we've seen in a long time. Like you said, this is a good, very good defense. And I mean, I think we're still getting Taysom Hill. So, it might not be a high scoring game, which would be nice. He might have a shot. He might have a shot.
But Taysom Hill is probably a little bit more athletic and better than Daniel Jones. So if we're going to let Daniel Jones run like he's Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson, I can only imagine what Taysom Hill is going to do.
We have to make them pass the ball. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. We have to get the ball in Taysom Hill's hands as a quarterback. He can't, you know what I'm saying? He can't go out there and win the game like Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? We have to put him in that situation. Shout out to everybody checking in. Nina Austin says, so since Jenkins is back in the building, does this mean Mills shows out this afternoon? That's a good question. I mean, maybe. I think these safeties have heard that they, are trash for a little while now. And now, especially, like you said, you have kind of the leader of the pack, if you would, with Jenkins coming back. I'm sure they'll, dap it up pregame and talk pregame and everything. So it'll be very interesting to see if, that does anything for our defense. I mean, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I feel like there's no bad blood with Jenkins. So it's not like we're going to see like dapping up, but then turning into like talking junk to one another. I feel like Jenkins did a lot for Philly, and the guys really respected Jenkins, and that dude is respected by pretty much all of Philly. The only person who didn't really respect him was Howie. So, I mean, if we were going to bring back some old players, he probably would have been one of my top choices to bring back, just because it's not even like we need him to be like the top safety in the league or something, but his leadership is something that this defense or this team is missing, just that voice. And of course, like with everything going on in the community and the politics and everything, Jenkins was always a great voice out in Philly. So missing a guy like that stinks. But hey, if we have a chance to run him over or maybe score on him, make him look a little silly, hey, I'll take it.
Facts. And everybody, shout out everybody that's saying what up in the chat and everything. I did just drop the link. I kind of forgot. I'm not gonna lie, but I did just drop it. So if you guys want to join, feel free. We're gonna kind of keep it short, like 2 minutes a person. Just give us your thoughts on the game, and we'll keep it quick, keep it moving. I kind of leave people on here lingering for a long time. People complain that they wait too long, so we're gonna try and be a little bit better. But shout out to Alex Cupsis. Once hockey season comes around, we are going to be adding my boy Alex to the team. He's going to be going over basically everything hockey. He has a lot of good connections. So shout out to him. He says Eagles need to, we got to, man. We got to. The new year is going to be a beautiful year for Philly Podcast.
Get it.
I promise y'all that. Eagles need to establish a run game today to have Hurts be successful. I agree. One thing I will say about that though is I do not, and I've seen a lot of content creators say that they want to see this. I've seen a lot of analysts say they want to see this. I do not want to see a bunch of designed run plays for Jalen Hurts. We know he can run. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather see his decision making, and it's not saying put him in bad positions. Obviously, throw in some runs, but I don't want our offense looking like a college offense. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're either going to get one of two things. You're going to get it to look like the Ravens, where Lamar Jackson goes for like a 30-yard run, or you're going to get the Patriots, where Cam Newton looks silly because he just doesn't. It's not working over there, where it's 3rd and goal on the 5-yard line, and you decide to run a run option instead of throwing the ball. Like it's one or two, and I don't know if Jalen's Lamar, but maybe Jalen's a tad bit faster than Cam. But we need to. The best way to use Hurts is to establish a run, but have him run on plays that aren't meant to be run on. If he doesn't see someone open, take off. Those would be going to be your best bets. Those are going to be the ones where the defense isn't looking for you to really run right away. So they're defending the wide receivers, and then you take off.
Yeah, see, that's why I mean, and we saw that even if it's just one play, I understand we have a very small sample size of what Jalen Hurts is. But that one throw to Jalen Reagor was beautiful. I mean, I want to see him put in more situations like that. I want to see if that was a one-off or if that's how he's going to be playing. You know what I mean? Like, Let's get him out. Like, if you look at the touchdown pass that he got, you go back to Oklahoma, that's literally a carbon copy of a play that they ran at Oklahoma for a touchdown as well. Same position in the field, same rollout, same, route. So if that's what we're going to do, that's what we're going to do. I want to see Doug get in his bag a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Doug, you are a very smart man. You're very good at what you do. Well,
he's the backup quarterback king.
You know what I'm saying?
He probably feels for them. I bet Carson one day in a meeting was like, bro, you are a backup. I know this. And now he's just the backup quarterback king. He knows how to work them.
He's the backup whisperer. Whisperer. Yeah. So let me ask you this, because I know a lot of people are saying, look, watch them run the ball, but when Wentz plays, we don't run the ball. Yeah. I want to ask you a question. If Jalen Hurts does very well, right? He does very well. Is that an indictment on Wentz, or is that more so?
Well, we got to see what he does. We got to
see it, yeah. But if it's the same play calls, basically, if he throws the ball 30 plus times and we win the game, is that an indictment on Wentz?
It could be. But at the same time, yes. But he also hasn't taken the beating Wentz has this season. He's not seeing the ghost of defensive linemen right in his ear, where he feels like he needs to scramble and maybe he doesn't. His mental is not messed up right now. He's fresh. He's coming in with fresh legs, fresh mind, fresh eyes. And it's going to be interesting to see if he plays well getting outside of the pocket. Is he going to get himself outside of the pocket and throw great balls and look downfield? Or is it going to be what other people are saying? Oh, he sees his one read. It's not open. He's going to try to run it. We're going to see that the whole game. So it really depends on what we're looking at throughout the game. The only way I feel like it could really, really be an indictment on Wentz if the guy goes out there, throws 28 of 38, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns or something against one of the top 5 defense in the league.
And we've seemed to, for some reason, do very well against top five defenses. I don't know what it is, like, or not top five, but top defenses in general. Not obviously this year, but in the past. You know what I'm saying? We've always like, especially Wentz, he's always seemed to step up
Yeah,
against
if
very
you
good
look at, I think
defenses.
there was a stat that was like he was like 12-4, like 10-4, something like something positive. Like it was a pretty good stat against top tier defenses. Just this year, not so much.
Yeah, this year is just ugly all around. So Chase Brand says, "Will the Eagles win above or below 6 games?"
Oh, if we lose today, probably below.
That's yeah, I'm with you because we still have Washington and we still have the Cowboys if I'm not mistaken. We still got
Yeah,
one
we go
each.
Cardinals, Washington, Cowboys, and that's it. Yeah, the Saints.
So yeah, so
We got four games,
if we pull out this game,
and we go 4-0. Hey,
oh my God, imagine the headlines in Philadelphia. Like people will
oh,
go crazy.
oh, for sure. Because
People
then
will go
the whole
crazy.
week leading up would be, who do you start in the playoffs? Do you give Wentz the opportunity, or do you just keep Jalen there because he's hot? Like, at that point, keep
It's,
Jalen in.
yeah,
To
exactly.
be
I think
honest,
right
you
now,
can't take that away from.
yeah, I think win or lose right now, just finish the season with Jalen. Let's see, like we did with Foles. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I
But we
mean,
didn't have
Foles
a chance
literally won us a
to go
Super Bowl, and
back.
we still moved on from him. So I don't understand why everybody's so like scared that we're gonna move on from Carson Wentz. Like, I think it's going to be okay. He's got a lot of money, even if we do somehow, get rid of him. He'll be fine. But I don't really understand why everybody's so like attached to one player. I just want to see the Eagles win.
You see, what I put on like someone's post was is that we've been rooting and hoping for this kid for 5 years to like be healthy, kill it, have a great season, go back to the MVP type season. Like we've been invested, and yeah, it's just one player, but let's be real here: the quarterback is the key to everything. It's not like everyone's like, "Oh, our quarterback stinks, but our running back's amazing. We're going to win all these games." It's if our quarterback, we all want our quarterback to be good. So we're spending all that energy, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years, and then to have people just be like, "Oh no, bump once within 1 week," I feel like that's unrealistic. Half of the fan base is still, or a third of the fan base is still trying to say we should have kept Foles. So if that's been 2 years out of the making, then 1 week you got to give people some leeway. Now, if this was something that happened in like week 2 or something, then I could be like, all right, guys, it's been a while, but it's only been 1 week. They're gonna hear about this probably for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, with me, see, my whole thing with Wentz, man, is like I love Wentz. I think he's a great guy. AO1 is an awesome foundation and everything. He's a dope dude, and it's just like you said, to use kind of your own point against you is like we have been waiting 5 years for him to really like be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I love the kid, and he's shown glimpses. 2017 was an amazing season. Last year down the stretch, he showed obviously that he can lead the team. Bless you, but like other than that, we have not really seen the ones that we've wanted to see. I feel like for 5 years, I'll say for 2 years of the years that he's been here, we've been making excuses. I think for like his rookie year, we made excuses because it was rookie year. He didn't have this around him. He didn't have that around him, which is true. And then 2017, obviously, there's no excuses to be made other than he got hurt. Then 2018, that was just kind of a terrible season. I think it kind of got brushed under the rug.
Yeah.
And then
People keep
last
saying
year
Foles
was
got us to the playoffs that year, but we needed a couple teams to lose that last week in order to get into the playoffs. If I forgot, I don't know if it was the Vikings or who, that
yeah.
if they won, we wouldn't have even been able. We would have been in the playoffs that year.
Good morning. It is game day. It definitely is game day. Yeah, I mean, I just want to see some consistency out of the quarterback position. Like at least with Donovan McNabb, like you knew year in, year out, basically what you were gonna get from him. You know what I'm saying? Even though you never had, great weapons around him, he had a good offensive line and he had a good running back, and that's really all we have right now. And obviously injuries have, broken that down a little bit. But I
Right.
do want to ask you something about JP because I was thinking about it today and I was like, does this year hurt JP's legacy at all? Like, do you look back? You think this year will just get forgotten as
Yeah,
like fans and stuff like that?
for sure. I think with his legacy, he's good. I feel like he's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Fame, and once he officially retires, it's just gonna look like the old guy that really tried to help the team out, but because he didn't have to come back this year, he could have stayed home, or he could have just waited until someone else called. But he came back when Brandon Brooks went down, and he originally was going to play guard, but then did his whole. Well, then when Dillard went down, that's when he did his own money thing. But honestly, for the amount of work this guy's done for the Eagles, I don't really see anything this season going to tarnish him for whatever.
Yeah, I mean it kind of sucks. I ain't gonna cap. Like me looking at it, and that's maybe because like I'm a diehard. You know me. I'm like irrational about my Eagles. So it's like I was thinking about it earlier, and I'm like, man, I know when I get old, and I'm talking to one of my kids, and they're like, oh, who's Jason Peters? I'm gonna be like, oh, he stole $6 million from the Philadelphia Eagles, but he was a great offensive lineman. Other than that,
yeah, right.
I mean, no, you're right. It is what it is. Once it's all said and done, once he throws the jacket on, nobody's gonna really be thinking about one season. They're gonna be thinking about his, career as a totality. It is what it is, though. It still kind of sucks that I feel like he just kind of stole money from us this year. But that's also on, Howie and them, man. Like,
oh yeah, they didn't. He requested doesn't mean that they needed to give in. They could have just said no.
Exactly.
They could have. It wasn't like he was going to refuse to play the game. I don't think he is that stubborn. I think he played his cards right. He shot his shot, and you miss every shot you don't take. So he shot his shot, and it worked out in his favor. But even so, even if let's say he's like, I'm not playing left tackle, I'm here for right guard, at least he would have had the whole season to really be in that position, not look foolish toward the end of the season trying to step in. And then we could have had a guy like Jordan Mailata maybe earlier in the season against some of the easier competition that, once again, we lost those games, those buffer games that we needed. Then maybe he's been the start this whole time. But then again, with our injury bug, maybe it's good that he didn't play the whole season.
I mean, sure, they need to just bench a bunch of people, man. Yeah, so we obviously know JP's not playing. Somehow, some way, some reason, Alshon is still going to be playing. Like,
is he?
That's what I read. I
thought JJ was going to get out there.
Yeah. Oof, that's what the whole fan base is waiting for. Really, is JJ.
I swear, like I was watching some film on him, and there was some film he gets open. His routes aren't the cleanest, but I just feel like maybe once just didn't like him, or I don't know. I feel like maybe Hurts, throwing a backup receivers. Typically, sometimes that works out. So I want to see if he would at least get a couple catches, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a lot of Greg Ward going crazy.
I want to see that Jalen to Jalen connection.
Yeah, I mean, sure. We picked 2 Jalens. We might as well. And we need to get who was the third one? Is it Davion Taylor that his like middle name is Javion or Jalen?
I have no idea.
Yeah, one of our other picks, his middle name was Jalen. So we got to get him involved on the offense too. So it's just like a whole bunch of Jalens out there balling out.
Yeah.
Might as well let whatever veterans are out there play, because how many do you think are going to retire after this?
Retire or get cut?
Yeah, I mean, Alshon, do you really realistically think he has a market? Like, is there anywhere that would really pick him up at this point?
Maybe.
I mean, he's kind of looking
for the
like
low.
Dez towards the end of his career. To be honest, like he's slow. He's not really.
Yeah, he doesn't even look like he really wants to be out there. He just looks like he's smiling. He's like, oh, okay, I'm still healthy.
I'm just happy to be here, guys. Happy to be here, guys. Not gonna drop any balls today. Like that's
if he kills it. If he kills it today, hey, I wouldn't be mad about that. But he just doesn't look like he's.
I doubt it. I love the dude, man, but I forget who it was that I was watching, and they were like, they just need to get rid of everybody that was on the 2017 team. And I'm starting to feel like that right now. Just get rid of everybody, hit the restart button, because it's obvious, like, whatever happened after that Super Bowl, like, that.
They got rid of the important people instead of re-signing a guy like JP, or re-signing a guy or extending like an Alshon, who ended up getting surgery as soon as he signed his contract. We should have brought back like a LeGarrette Blount for another season or two. Like we're missing that big runner ever since that season, and we let Blount go.
Yeah, and shout out to LeGarrette Blount. He just actually retired, so
shout out. He could have retired an Eagle if we would have extended him just a little bit.
I wonder who he is retiring for. I didn't even look, to be
I would
honest.
assume
The
the
Patriots,
Patriots.
probably.
I would assume.
I mean, he always says that he loved the Eagles, that he loved
Oh yeah,
that
he says that was one
championship
of
and
his favorite
everything.
championships, but he put his time in with the Patriots and Tampa Bay. I mean, I think he had a couple thousand yard seasons at Tampa Bay, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. He did. I mean, he had a crazy story. I don't know if you ever watched Flemmo Raps, but he did like his story, bro. That is crazy. Like he came from JUCO and almost like knocked a kid out in the middle of a game. Like it's crazy. He
I
has a
have to check
crazy
that
story.
out.
Yeah, I'll send
Yeah.
you the link. It's crazy. So we got my boy Infamous 2K up in here. We're gonna bring him on. Everybody go check out his channel. He be
Yo, how you
dropping that
doing?
fire. What's good, Infamous?
Wait, y'all was talking about Legarrette, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he did go to Juke. I think there's a show about him.
Oh, for yeah. Last Chance You. That it
Yeah.
started right after he went to that school. It was kind of like not based off of him, but I think he was kind of an inspiration for it
Yeah,
because of his
glad
story.
after every season they like show people like where they went, what college, or like what team they end up winning to. It's a good show. My dad like binge watches it. But real quick, so like, are we going off script or are we just going like just speak your
Go
mind?
off script, speak
Yeah,
your
whatever
mind.
you want.
All right, so we're gonna win this game, and here's why. Okay. It has nothing to
Respect
do
that.
with I believe in Hurt. Well, I believe in Hurts. He's our quarterback, but it has nothing to do with I think our team's gonna play with. So I went to sleep with autoplay on with YouTube. I woke up. I swear to God, because I put an alarm for your thing so I don't oversleep. Because I went to sleep at like 3 a.m. So I put an alarm on. When I woke up, I saw Nick Foles throw a pass in the Super Bowl, and I was like, "Yes, we're gonna win this game. It's a sign. We have to win this game. So we're gonna win the game." Now, my expectation for Hurts is to do at least a little bit better, if not the same as Carson, because the bar is set so low. The bar is set so very, very low. There's no way you can't at least match it at worst, right? And especially if Doug changes the play calls for you, runs the ball more, RPOs, rolls you out, you have to. Like, there's no excuse. I don't care. And then you have the element of surprise, and then they're coming off a 4 game streak off the on the road, so like it's hard to beat people on the road like that. And then you're coming here, you might take this game as a relaxation game, so they
All
might
right.
be
Could
like,
be one
oh,
of their
he just
trap games.
so it's like there's a lot of pointing in our favor. So, but here's my biggest thing. I want to talk about drafting real quick. Um, and it's about next year, and then I'll get into the Jalen Hurts pick. Here's my two things. We trade Ertz. We're gonna have because we got rid of we have to get rid of Cap. So we trade Ertz. I love this guy, but we have to trade McLeod and maybe like a third or fourth round pick. Get a top. Hopefully we get top 10, top 7 first round, which is unrealistic. But hopefully let's say we get that. Then we get Minka Parsons with our top 5 pick, and then if we get top 10, we get somebody like Devontae Smith. If we don't,
That would be beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's like the best of the best. If Howie Roseman had like, and like I don't know, a lot of GMs don't like Howie, so we'll have to see. So,
I'm
but
really
like
hoping Howie's not here next year. To be honest, that's the one thing.
Joe
Like you know what I'm
Banner
saying?
said, Joe Banner said he doesn't even think there's a 10% chance that Howie gets fired. So
Damn.
and then the second one is we trade the same people and we try to get, if we can get a first, we get an early second, maybe like the first pick of the second. We draft Minka, a defensive player, in our first top 5, and then rather than drafting like a big receiver like Jamar Chase or something like that, we get Allen Robinson from free agency, depending on how our cap situation is looking.
Wow, if we get Allen Robinson, bro, Penn State alum, I would love that.
So
I would
then
love that.
here's my problem with Howie. The reason why we won't do any of what I just said, because round okay, I think Howie's plan was we're gonna ride Carson out. By the time his contract is, he had a 4 year deal, right? By the time his contract deal, he'll be like 31. He's like 27, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he'd be like
28,
30, 30.
28.
He's 28, so yeah, he'd be
Yeah.
like 31, 32. Hurts would come in. He's developed, which I don't know why he think Press Taylor would develop anybody, but develop Jalen Hurts, and then he'll be our quarterback. And I don't think this was expected too soon, but I don't think you pick a development quarterback when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. We're gonna be bad for a while. That's the reality of it, because our cap is bad. This team, was built to try to do something in the playoffs, right? Because every Eagles fans who knows their team will say we have decent amount of talent, just a lot of injuries, a lot of different other stuff. So this team was built to do something this year, not next year, not the year before. So now that we're in cap hell, we have to get rid of a lot of good players, like a lot. So we're gonna be bad for a while, and unless you hit on every single draft pick for the next 2 3 years, we're gonna be bad for a
Facts.
long time.
I
That's what
think
it's going.
the biggest part is we got to rebuild that defense. I think
Hmm.
everybody thought we were like, especially on that defensive line. Yeah, a lot of people thought, oh, that's our strength. It hasn't been our weakness, but it has not been a strength. It has not really carried us like we expected it to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Our secondary, if anything, has honestly been better than our front four at times. Like, and
yeah.
we need that front four, especially with the money that we put into it to develop, and we need
Yeah,
them to produce.
Barnett. That's another thing. Graham might not be able to be here, so is Barnett. I mean, I like Josh Sweat, so like Barnett's not a big hitter, but like who's gonna play opposite of Sweat?
Hmm.
Now we might have to draft a edge rusher, so we're gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be a rough couple of years, but we'll get through it. As long as we have the Sixers, right? At least the Sixers look good. So,
Oh, I got the Nets,
oh,
baby, and that's
oh
today,
yeah, yeah,
baby.
yeah. See
That's
you,
today. I can't wait.
I
man.
re- I've declared I'm gonna be rooting for the Knicks. So
The Knicks.
watch
The way
out.
you said it, though.
Obi Toppin's gonna be. He already looks good. He looked
Hey,
good
I
in
mean,
this.
I wouldn't mind the Knicks being good. I don't mind the Sixers being good. I actually love it, to be honest. The Nets and the Sixers have like, maybe it's just because I have a bunch of Sixers friends, but I feel like there's a little bit of a rivalry brewing there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so maybe it'll be a fun year. Either way, we have NBA. I get the point on that one because this football season's been tough, but I don't think it'll be the longest thing. I think that I said this on one of our last lives that there is glue here somewhere on this team because when we came out of the Chip Kelly era, we all thought it was going to be a 5 year rebuild, 3 year, whatever you want to say,
Yeah,
and we turned around and won a Super Bowl pretty quickly. I understand that roster was a lot younger, but at the same time, there is somebody on this roster, on this staff that got this team together. So we have to figure out who that guy is.
but we weren't 60 million cap though.
Facts. That's facts
We
too.
were younger, but I feel like, and I was just on the call in with Tone, and Tone made a great point. He says, I think we're gonna be like the Cowboys. We're gonna have decent or elite offense because if we're gonna draft like people like Jamar Chase and all that, and our O line is good, we're gonna have a good because most of our old guys are from our defense outside of our O line because Kelsey may retire, JP's gone. You other than them, you have Brandon Brooks. I don't think Isaac Seumalo was that old. I think he's like in his 20s, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
So
not that
so
old.
outside of Brandon Brooks, everybody else, Mulata, Driscoll, Herbig, they're all young. So I feel like our defense is the veteran guys like Graham. Then you have people like I think we're gonna get rid of Avante Maddox.
I wouldn't be
And
mad about that. It
I
sucks
don't.
though because it's like who really is bad in this team?
I
Because it's like
wouldn't get
you,
rid of him. I think he's on a rookie contract next year, so I feel
oh,
like
he is.
you could. I think that's his final year. I think next year is the final year of like Goddard and Avante. Like we're gonna end up having to re-sign Goddard at some
Actually,
point,
I
and
think I
that's
think
why.
Avante is cool. I think it's next year free agents are Jalen Mills, Coleman. Who else? I think Barnett is due for a contract too.
I
Yeah,
think he's on his 5th year. Yeah, he's on his
Yeah,
5th year
so
option
we
next
have a
year.
lot of people. I don't think. Would you sign Barnett?
depending on what he asked for,
Yeah, I wouldn't take that.
I
I think
wouldn't
his
take
fifth
like
year
a.
option is 10 mil. I wouldn't do that. If
I
he
mean,
wants like a
I
three
like Sweat a
year,
lot. Like I really like Sweat. He just like needs to get more reps.
yeah. I mean,
So,
but
but the
we
thing
we
is, you
play
can
as
maybe
a rotation.
if you sign Barnett and Graham goes soon, then you can put maybe one of them on the other side. I know you have to relearn everything, but I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll just have to wait and see. But real quick about the benching, um I don't think this was a smart idea because why would you put you're not gonna get the right evaluation on Hurts whether it's if he balls out or whether he sucks because one one the lack of I don't think a lot of people who like never like it's not like a come at you guys but if you never play football lack of tape is like a really big thing. Like imagine if you're going against a college or a high school or even NFL who's like a 5-star recruit, but he's never played the game or something like. I know it's like sounds unrealistic. Then you don't know what he's good
No,
at and
like
how to
those
stop him.
players that start when they're a sophomore in high school. I know.
Yeah. So then here's another thing. When you set a blueprint for like a Lamar Jackson, for in the future Kyler Murray, for people for younger quarterbacks who are dual threats, the whole league picks up on it, and then they start to find out. So I'm scared that Hurts won't get the right evaluation because what if they found a blueprint early in his career? So then people start playing him. So then you don't really know what he could have been. And I don't want either of those quarterbacks of a video like 10 years in the future says what if Wentz or what if Hurts did the like
Facts.
So that's my whole thing about it. What time does the game start? Is it a 1 o'clock?
420,
4:20.
420, 425, one of the two.
Unfortunately, I don't mind the 420 games, but it's like it's not like prime time, but you still
I'd
gotta
rather
wait.
I'd rather the 420 than the 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Wait. What's who else? Who else is playing? Who's the
There's
Giants and
like
all them playing?
there's like 6 games on at 4 o'clock.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
for real?
So
Um,
none of the NFC East is playing to the one.
I
I
haven't
don't
heard yet.
believe so. I think they're all at. I would have to look it up.
Yeah.
I'm
And then
sure a bunch of Giants fans are
before when I
excited.
woke up, I heard another. I forget who. He said that most likely what's his name is going to start the rest of the season. McLeod is saying Hurts looks ready. I mean, I like Hurts. Like he started when he started doing his press conference, he started to grow on me. Like he has that little swag. Like especially
Yeah,
I didn't see that shirt he had, like the Rosa Parks shirt.
Yeah, the nod joint. That
hmm
shit is hot.
So I'm like, okay, this okay. so
good to me.
so
He's young. He's gonna bring that like energy, that swag. That he's also a different culture too. I mean, him and Wentz are two polar opposites when it
mhm.
comes to culture and age and stuff like that.
when
So it could
when Cox
resonate better. Who
when
knows?
Cox said he was my best friend, I feel like everybody like their jaw dropped. Like Carson has a best friend on this team because nobody. The biggest indictment from since like since his rookie year was like he wasn't like close with the guys. Like he didn't really talk to his
Yeah,
teammates.
but I think Fletch is different. I think Fletch is country. He's like Mississippi country,
Oh
where
yeah, true.
I think
That's
he's also like a
a
hunter
Hunter.
and likes to
hmm
have his open field and ride quads and stuff, which might be different from some of the other guys. So
mm but I loved how Kelsey called out everyone too. And
yeah,
you know
Kelsey, I want yeah.
this year was an eye opener for me because like I've seen a lot of like before this year, I never looked at it where like the coaching staff is bad, everything around him is bad. Now I look at it, I feel like Sam Darnold has talent because but everything around him sucks. So there's a lot of
hmm
quarterbacks in this league that they have talent, just a lot of them suck and they get the wrong kind of and I'm guilty of that. Like if I was an Eagles fan, I would sit here and say Wentz sucks because I wouldn't look in between the lines. Same thing with like the Jets. I wasn't looking in between the lines. Now that you actually see, I'm like dang, I ain't never appreciate our line in so long. Like you had to appreciate your line after this. Every time we get a good old line, every time we have like Brandon Brooks back, oh my God, I'm gonna go pray.
Right. Brandon Brooks, a healthy Brandon, a healthy Lane. Let's say Kelsey retires, you put one of the young guys there with Sam Alu, and then whatever Dylan Mailata
Herbig.
battle goes on there at
I,
Herbig. It's gonna
I don't think Diller's gonna play because he's too. I don't think he has the mental.
maybe you could trade him. Get a I don't even know what you get from a second, a
I
third.
think
I think you could get a first for him
A
still. I mean,
first?
a
I think you
first.
could. I think you could.
Yeah,
He's still on
right.
his rookie deal. He's still on his rookie deal. He has a 5th year option. Depending on the team, you might be able to still get it.
Maybe the
Maybe a
Bengals,
later
maybe the
first, but
Bengals, but the Bengals have the third round pick and they're gonna pick that guy out of Oregon.
yeah, I mean, you're not going to get a top 10, top 15 pick for him, but
Yeah.
like a playoff type team that is like a left tackle away.
hmm
I could see them being like, yeah, we'll give you our first for him because you're not going to get it at the bottom of the draft, anyways, at the bottom of the first round, anyway. So, I mean, he's still a first round talent. He just got hurt. It is what it is. You
We
still
need a
got
we need
options
a
on him.
we need a hit on every draft pick this year.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, we
sir.
definitely do.
If we
We
hit
might
on
as well
every
let the
draft
fans
pick,
make
then
the
I'll have a
picks
little
because
more confidence.
I feel like the fans come up with better drafts than Howie
Yeah.
does.
I don't
No,
know.
like you said, it's about making the obvious pick sometimes. It's like, bro, you don't have to be the smartest person.
Right.
Just if he's number 30 on the board and you're at number 35, like just pick him. Like he's probably a good player.
Right.
Trust your scouts every now
You
and
don't
then.
need to be the sixth pick in the draft and be like, yo, but that guy that I could maybe get on the third day, he may not be there. I got to grab him now. It's like, bro, no.
Seriously.
So here's the who y'all think is gonna have a breakout game? I think it's gonna be Rager. If Hurts balls
I
out, I
hope
feel like the
so. I
number one
picked him in
receiver is
FanDuel.
Rager.
I hope I can see a Rager to Rager action. But you know what? I could also see Ertz getting involved today. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
there's something about also overplaying to help out the backup or help out the young guy. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, there's just a different energy sometimes when the backup has to start. So maybe you see more Ertz or Goddard. One of the tight ends, I think, has a bigger game than they've had in the last couple weeks.
That's what Jalen Williams is he an O lineman? I heard.
Who?
I swear he played like college football or something.
Jalen Williams?
Mm-hmm. Because I
I don't
saw him
know.
on Gates thing. He was like how to be a college athlete, and I was guessing he was like a college athlete.
Oh, Jalen Williams, did you play? But I am gonna say you bugging, bro. We could get way more than a fourth for that
I
for
don't. I
him.
don't. Maybe a third.
I
I
think
don't
why wouldn't Dillard? Why is that? Am I really that alone on that? Like Dillard just got drafted. Why would his value be that low
because of
just because he
didn't
got
he
hurt?
tear his what's his injury again?
It was like
Bicep, maybe?
yeah bicep torn bicep. That's it's not his
I
legs or
I
anything.
don't know. I don't think there's enough on tape to put him as a first round pick yet.
Yeah, I mean we'll see. I got we'll see. Maybe
I mean, maybe you can move him to guard, but he may not. I don't know.
I'm going with it. He's getting this first round. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Then you turn off your Xbox and you wake up. So
I'm gonna go do it in matter right now.
that's I swear how he gets his drafting from Madden. That's how I be drafting sometimes. Pick like an underrated guy and then like you go on edit settings and then you just put everything to 99.
Yeah.
I think that's what he thinks is gonna happen.
Yeah, no, I think he just asked his kid or something like, "What do you want to see? Who do you like? Oh, I like Jalen Hurts. He was fun to watch. All right, we're gonna go pick him up real quick."
That I think Jerry Jones. I think Jerry Jones hit on every draft pick because I think he listened to his scouts. I don't think it was Jerry Jones making the picks. To me, he just sat there and smiled and said, "Oh yeah, this is the guy we want." Like we pick Hurts. Oh yeah, he did. He said he did play college.
Yeah,
So we picked a guy. We picked Hurts over the runner-up for defensive player of the year, Jeremy Chin, right now. But oh my god, he looks so good. I seen one play where he like he pressed the tight end, he threw him off his route, flipped his hips, ran upfield, and then caught an interception. And he has like a lot of tackles because dude runs like a four. He's in receiver speed. Like man is all over the field. So I would have loved
Yes,
to have
yes,
him.
yes. Another guy we missed.
Man, we missed too many, and like every team misses a guy, but like we missed like every year.
facts. And I feel like all of my sports apps they know who we missed on, and they just only show me highlights from those people. Like I get straight up DK Metcalf,
Right.
Jeremy Chin. I get nothing
hmm
but those
hmm
updates every day.
it's like a lot of teams passed up on DK, but you choose to mess up on us, and I think the reason why is because all the teams that passed up on DK, at least they picked somebody who was good. We picked J Jaw, so and I wanted to ask you something because do you think it's right to say J Jaw is a bust already, or you think it's stuff around like the coaching stuff? And for me personally, I don't think that's an excuse. I think that's an excuse for the rookies this year because we had an OC when J Jaw was drafted. So what y'all think about that?
I think J. Jaw sucks. I
Yeah.
think he's terrible. I
hmm
mean, it is what it is. Like me and Brandon were talking about a little bit earlier that he was watching some of his film, and he got open and stuff like that. It's just maybe it is on Carson. It'll be interesting if we could see him with a different quarterback. Like maybe if him and Hurts, have a connection. But it just seems like I don't know. It feels like J. Jaw is just lost half the time. Like
I don't know. He blocks well. It kind of reminds me of Mac Hollins, like how we drafted Mac Hollins and he looked good with Mitch Trubisky in North Carolina because that was who his quarterback was, right?
yeah,
And then when he came here, his best thing was special teams gunner. Like that was basically it. And he caught, I think, maybe one deep pass some Wentz, and he did the whole backpack celebration. But other than that,
I wish I
I
could do
mean,
that dance.
but so you hit and miss on these wide receivers, and I want to see if J Jaw can come out and like ball out with somebody different. Is he even active today, or is he another healthy
No, I
scratch?
don't think I think he's inactive. But the thing is, if you look at his tape again, because college he was ranked like one of the in college he was ranked one of the best receivers. He was actually rated over DK because of DK's injury. Now Ole Miss runs the ball more, so like DK only had like 500 yards in his season. But when you draft, if you look at his tape, he's going against small, like 5'5", 5'6" cornerbacks versus like a 6'3" guy. So like he looked a lot better than when he was. You know, there's a 6'6" receiver in this draft.
bro. There's
Yeah,
some. I keep hearing that this draft is maybe
it,
just as good as last year,
I
if
think
not
it's
better.
better. I think it's a
Yeah,
lot better.
it's
You
pretty deep. It's pretty
you seen
deep.
the guy I sent you right on Instagram?
Yeah.
So oh my god, he reminds me of a weaker DK. Okay, maybe that's just me because I'm an Eagles fan and I kind of like him. Hate that we missed on DK, but he reminds me of a weaker DK. Like he's 6'4", he's two. I think he's like 220, something like that. He can go. He's fast. He can go up and get the ball. So I like he's projected seventh.
Yeah. I mean, there's like I said, there's a lot of talent because even the Penn State, we're terrible this year, but we got a kid that's looking crazy good, and of course I'm gonna his number 5. I'm really gonna blank out because we're live and I'm an idiot. I'm really
Wow.
blanking.
Wow.
Dotson. Thank you. Sorry, I really was just blanking out for a minute. But I'm trying to read and think. It doesn't work out much. But yeah, Dotson. Even him, he's probably projected like 5th or 6th round, and that kid is a beast, like a
Mhm.
beast. So it's like you look at all the talent that's out there. I really think that the Eagles need to realize that the NFL is going in a different direction. It is no longer t-shirt warriors. You know what I'm saying? The guys that put up good numbers in scout combines or whatever. It's the guys that are freak athletes. You know what I mean? And that
Mhm.
it shows on the field. Kind of like going back to LeGarrette Blount. LeGarrette Blount was not a person that put up a crazy 40 time or a person that really had the best technique. But when you put on the pads, it was a different animal. That's something like DK. I know DK put up a good numbers and all the
Oh, that dude was a freak at the
combine stuff.
combine.
Yeah. But even so, like even if he didn't, you saw that he was a special type, and people need to start realizing that's where the league is going. You need athletes, and it
That's
is what it is.
that's another. Now that you mentioned that, do you think we should have kept Hakeem Butler? Because he was a decently fast guy. I mean, he was a receiver, so he was pretty fast. But they switched him tight end. So like, let's say he played receiver. He's like 6'7", 6'6" receiver. He's tall. He looked pretty strong. I think we jumped on him because like that was his first target of his career. I think he was a development guy, like a
Yeah,
guy who come up maybe I don't know. He's his stature and what his athletic ability was there. It was just the rest was coaching.
yeah. I think that this year is so hard to really develop anybody because you're losing. You know what I'm saying? And you're
Mhm.
losing in close games, and your division is still close. That's like, it's a bad combination because you can't just say, okay, let's start looking towards the future. I think Brandon said this the other day. You can't just say, let's start looking towards the future. Let's start developing these kids because you still want to quote unquote give yourself the best chance. You know what I'm saying? So
Especially in this division.
yeah,
It's not like it's
exactly.
one thing if we were 3 wins and the Giants, Washington, whoever was at 10 wins already or something. At that point, you could be like, all right, let's get the young guys in and play. But we're only a game and a half behind or whatever.
I
So
don't care anymore.
That's where
I
I'm
just
at.
don't
you
care
may not
anymore.
care, but the guys that are getting paid do.
Do
I
they
mean,
though? Do they?
I don't know. I don't know.
the thing is, the thing is, this season is over. Like mathematically, it's not over, but it's over, right? So I think we should start looking because even if we do get first round, what's the Jalen? Is Jalen? Then you're gonna have a bigger Is Jalen Hurts starting? Is one starting? What are we gonna do? Blah
Oh,
blah
that's it.
blah.
We were just saying that earlier. It's easy. Jalen would start. He got us to the playoffs. He's on fire. You don't bench someone on fire just to put Carson in. That'd be
Okay,
dumb.
but here's the thing. Here's my top take, and LB said I've been saying this since Jalen started. I don't think Jalen's gonna finish this game.
Oh, you think he'll get hurt?
No, I don't think he will do well to finish the game.
Oh, I don't
See, I
think they'll
put that
bench
as
him
the
mid
poll
game.
question. See, I put that as like a little poll question before this started. Was like, do you think Jalen Hurts will finish this game?
I think once we
It'll be
finish the game.
interesting.
I'd feel bad if they did a design run and he got hurt. That would suck.
No,
I
I
honestly,
wouldn't
I don't
wish. I
think he'll
wouldn't.
get.
But I don't
It'll
think he'll
be.
get benched.
It'll be more. I don't think it'll help Carson Wentz if you put him in the second half and we still lose. Like, what's the point there? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
if we're losing, I don't see the point in putting Carson in
Especially
because
if
it's
we're
like,
down like 21 or something.
At that, the whole
That-
point. The whole point is you put in Wentz so Hurts doesn't get killed, and then
no, you let him
you let
finish.
Nate
You put
Suffield,
Nate Suffield in.
but you can't because he's inactive.
Yeah, you
What?
can't put him.
He's
Can't
What?
been
put
in,
What's the
him.
point of him? Why do we have him? We might as well have kept Josh
he's been
McCown.
inactive for the last like 3 weeks,
Just
the
don't.
whole season. He's
He's
Yeah.
been
been
inactive
active
since the
once.
playoffs last year.
He's been
And
active
Josh
once.
McCown's still on our team. Isn't he on the practice
No,
squad
No,
still?
no,
nope.
no.
He
The
got
Texans.
signed by the Texans.
Oh,
He got
damn.
stole.
That was my
Y'all
Stolen.
realize
guy.
Deshaun Watson started playing like really well since then, right?
Deshaun
Maybe.
Watson. Maybe he
Well, they
won. Yeah.
also fired Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that's true.
also, it's like you got to realize look at when we had the best years. All right. Look at who the backup quarterbacks were. They were damn near coaches. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, I
Nick
forget
Foles.
Nick Foles. What was the guy's name that we gave
Chase
like
Daniel.
way too much money? And he was just basically like a
Yeah, he was
coach.
another like 10 million. Something
Yeah, but he was
weird.
basically just out there coaching up, you know what I'm saying, Carson Wentz. So it's like, I mean, that's what we need. We need people that can help. You know, we need a good quarterback room. We need good continuity. You know what I'm saying? So one more question before I get you off of here, my guy, and then I'm gonna get this next person in. And we're probably gonna make this a short one today, to be honest, because I know we all got stuff to do today. But
Hmm.
anyways, I want to know, what would you do if you were Doug Peterson to help Jalen Hurts win this game?
Do everything you should have done for Wentz. It's that simple. Maybe add a little more design runs because he's a little faster, but that's all you really have to do. I mean, we've been calling, and he's going to do it. I promise you, he's gonna be Frank Reich 2.0. Okay, maybe that's a stretch, but you know what I mean. His play calling is gonna be really good. And the reason why is, and when he gets on the little podium, whatever you want to call it, he goes to the interview. Oh, he's a rookie. If the guy is a rookie, and if the guy is struggling, that doesn't. The guy's struggling, and the guy's a rookie. That's like, oh well, he's a rookie, so I'm gonna help him not struggle. But struggling quarterback, he'll figure it out. No, you treat him the same. If your guy is struggling, change it up, help him. And I keep coming back to this. Kyler Murray, when he was playing the Giants, and I know it was only one game, actually the first couple of games he went 0-7 for his first couple of attempts, and he had 3 and out. So then what his coach did was he rolled him out the pocket, he threw the ball on the run, he was running the ball and then trying to get into the flow of things, and then once he did that, he got into the game. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, Wentz is just he's just not taking off. I don't think the coaching staff wants him to. I don't think they're like, every time you do, you always get hurt. I don't want you to do that. Well, no, don't say you can't run. Just teach them how to slide. When was the last time you see
Facts.
one slide?
Facts.
I swear to God, I cannot recall the last time I've ever seen in one slide. And when he does, it looks like the stupidest, awkwardest slide. And I don't know if it's because he's 6'5" or if he just doesn't know how to slide. But you
No,
just
there's
teach him
baseball dudes that are that tall that know how to
that.
slide.
Yeah, I
Aaron
know they come.
Aaron Judge knows how to slide.
That's what I'm
Facts.
so. My whole thing is like, why won't you just have I don't care if it's a whole day of practice of Wentz just running and sliding. Just implement in his mind, when you get what you can get, just don't try to fight for more, just slide. Then this whole rollout, this whole he can't move out the pocket thing, this whole gain 20 pounds wouldn't be a big issue. So
Uh, I guess the last one is, what's your score prediction, bro? You know we always got to get a score prediction.
so like I always have two. One if we lose, one if we win. If we
What?
lose, if we lose, so I can never be wrong, you know. Like
There you go.
if we lose, it'll be. I feel like it'll be like probably like 38 to like 21 or 14. Or if we win, it'll be because our defense. I don't think it'll be offense. It'll probably be like 28 to 21 or 21 to 14, something like that.
Mm.
Okay.
All right, then I'll talk to y'all later.
All
All
right,
right, brother.
man.
Be safe, man. Thanks for coming on.
Always, always.
All right, we're gonna bring my guy Braden in here. He's been
Hey,
patiently waiting in the back room.
patiently waiting for a trophy.
What's going on? I'm liking the shirt, brother. I'm liking the shirt.
D-Jack. It's a D-Jack shirt.
Hey,
Let's go.
what's good, bro? How you
I
feeling
also
about
got
this
my
game?
hat.
And the hat.
Oh, he decked out.
He's ready. It's game day.
And I got the Carson Wentz figure.
And the figurine. Dang, he's better than me.
So now, let's start off
Let's
with
go.
our offense. Because that's the main part of this game. Because Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts can be a really good passer. I think he's a good runner too. we can. I was up in Tone's stream too, and I said that I think the Eagles O line and their whole team trusted Jalen Hurts more because, and Doug does too, because he wants to. He's a rookie, and they can develop him if they develop him. And
Yeah,
I
go
think, and
go
I have a
ahead.
question, and I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think Carson Wentz should be traded in the next year or so? So by the end of 2021 season. So by the end of next season.
Mm. What you think, Brandon? You can start that off.
You could say because I have no idea what the question was. I was doing
Oh,
the whole the voice
what's
thing
it
and
called? So should Carson Wentz be traded in the next year or so?
Yeah, by the end of next season. I think personally, I think I think it could be either way. I think he might be right. I think he might be traded, but I also think he might not be traded, depending on what the last couple games go.
Yeah, I think if Jalen Hurts, I mean, it really depends on Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts
Yeah.
can really show that he can be a real option at quarterback for the future,
Mhm.
and that he's gonna have to show a lot, especially in this little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? But if he over these next 4 games, goes crazy, balls out, and then in the off season he begins to show that he can really, run the offense and be the leader of the team. I think you have to explore the option of trading Wentz. If it's possible. We all know that the money situation is going to probably hold that back a little bit. So I think as a business, you have to look at every option available. And if moving on from Wentz helps you get better pieces for the rest of your team, then I think that's something you have to seriously consider.
Yeah.
right.
And also, like, if you can run the offense, like, if Jalen Hurts proves that he can run the offense and he can, like see and run the offense really well and, like, have connections with receivers, like, in the couple snaps he had against the Packers, I did see him, he had a little connection with Jeffrey. He had, like, a catch, but it was pass interference, but still, you can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that our offense can get it together. I think like going back to what you said with the offensive line trusting Jalen Hurts a little bit more. I think it's true just because they know that Jalen Hurts can probably get them out of situations that Carson couldn't with his legs. He can kind of, even though we all know Carson Wentz is very mobile and he's very shifty for his size, it's different with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is kind of like having a running back there sometimes.
Right.
So, I think they do trust him more in that aspect, and it's something new. And I've said this before. I feel like when you go to school or you go to, work or whatever it may be, when you see one of your friends get in trouble, you know what I mean? It kind of puts everybody on their best behavior. So I think we kind of saw that last week once got benched. Everybody was just kind of like, uh-oh, let's make sure we're watching what we're doing, staying on our P's and Q's because
Right.
who knows, it might be us next. So it'll be interesting to see if that, holds over to this week.
Yeah. And also, let's talk about the draft now. I think in the draft, we could get Dillard for not a first rounder, but like a second rounder. And we gotta get Dillard for when he's young, like when he's a young asset. Like we gotta get him. We can't get him when he's like 30 years. We can't trade him when he's like 30 years old, or we'll get nothing.
Right.
I think we could very well get a second. But now, who should we draft with our pick? I think it's down between 3 people if they drop, or maybe 4. I think it's down to Jamar Chase if he drops, Mika Parsons, and then Penny Sewell from Oregon. I think it's down to those 3, or maybe Devontae Smith from Alabama or Jalen Waddle from Alabama. I'm pretty sure too.
Yeah, I want Micah Parsons so bad.
Yeah,
But
I would
I
like
just
a
don't think we'll
linebacker
do a
too.
linebacker.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I like Penn State, and they're doing kind of bad this season.
terrible. Oh my God. I'm a Penn State fan too, so I feel your pain, man. It's horrible. But I mean, my thing with my thing with Micah Parsons is a lot of people are like, oh, does he fit what our defense is? This is the problem with the Eagles. I don't care if he fits what the defense
Yeah.
does. You build the defense around him. He is a generational talent. We have not had a good linebacker in God knows how long.
Before I was alive.
I mean, really, maybe even like before I knew what a linebacker's job was. They had maybe a good linebacker. Yeah, I mean Jeremiah Trotter.
Yeah.
He's not. Micah Parsons is like 10 times what Jeremiah Trotter. And now I love Jeremiah Trotter. Don't get me wrong. And I love D'Amico Ryans. Jordan Hicks was decent, but like these guys aren't world beaters. They're not position.
And like,
they're not gonna change the game from their position like Micah Parsons can.
And Micah Parsons. Let's go back to Micah Parsons again. Let's go and like. I don't care if he doesn't fit our team. We're drafting him. We could build around him and like make it fit. And also, why did we take J.J. Arcega-Whiteside? He sucks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that our second round pick now is a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
Like,
and even,
at least put him out there and like let him be bad. But now you're just like.
And even in college, I knew he was going to be bad. I just had a weird feeling that we were going to draft him and we would use him on and we would suck.
Hey. Yeah.
So who do you think is going to break out today?
I think our defense could really do well today if they stop Drew Brees. I'm pretty sure he's starting. They have to stop Drew Brees, or they have.
I think we have Taysom. We're going against Taysom. It's going to be Hurts Taysom.
That's going to be a good matchup. Two QBs that are pretty agile because Taysom can do like anything.
Yeah, facts. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be, if nothing else, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and then for defense, Darius Slay is not doing well this season, and Allen Robinson would be interesting. He's only like 27 years old, so. And if they started Wentz, I know I'm going like all over the place, but if they started Wentz,
it's okay, bro.
Okay, if they started Wentz, Hurts would be like 27 when Wentz would retire, so he would kind of be already out of his prime.
Yeah, we have to make that decision soon. I mean, maybe not. I think we have like 1 year as like a buffer. I feel like next year you can still have, Wentz and see what he can do. And you have that year to kind of figure out if he's going to be your franchise quarterback moving forward. But after that, you have to make a decision whether you're moving on from Hurts or you're moving on from Wentz.
And with
you can't have both.
This draft class is really, really deep. Like, I would say it's about the same as last year. But in the second round, there's going to be still a lot of talent on the board. Like a lot of running backs will be on the board, but we don't need a running back because I believe in Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is a good running back, and Derek Barnett, he's under contract, right?
We have the 5th-year option on him next year, technically.
I think we should. I'm iffy because he's been good sometimes, but he's also been bad sometimes. So I'm kind of think we could accept that to see what's going to go on. Like, just accept that 5th-year option.
Facts. So quick question. What is your prediction for this game? What do you think's going to happen? Do we win?
I have 2 predictions. If we win or lose, so I'm never right.
There you go. That seems like the theme now. I need to get 2 predictions.
I think if we lose, it's going to be somewhere around 38 to like 28 game. Somewhere around there. Pretty tight. I think it's going to be, and if we win, it's going to be really close. It's going to be like a 30 to 27 type game.
Okay.
Maybe Jake Elliott will finally hit a field goal,
Yeah, maybe.
To win a game. Imagine that.
Yeah, right. That dude is so trash. I want that girl from Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Like,
in 2017, Jake Elliott was actually pretty good. It just
so he got paid.
And
he got that bag and forgot how to kick a ball.
I'm good. I'm just gonna miss.
Yeah, he's like, whatever. I'm rich. I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, he got way too much. But let's not even talk about it. That's a whole nother podcast show, man. That's a whole nother podcast.
Colin show.
So what's your, before I get you off here, you got any final thoughts on this game, on this season, on Jalen Hurts?
This season, was a letdown because I was going into the season down 17-0. I was hyped. I was excited. We're about to be 1-0. I'm gonna be happy going into the Rams game, and then it all fell apart. That tie was ridiculous. And against the Browns, that one pick where he where he had Jalen Rieger wide open and he threw it to Talkie or something like that. That was just unacceptable. He just couldn't do that, and I'm glad that we're starting Jalen Hurts. Next year, I think our wide receiver core would be pretty good. I think because everybody's forgetting about Marquise Goodwin, but I am not forgetting about him because I get how he opted out, but I think he's going to be a big asset, and I think a good wide receiver core would be like Quez Watkins, John Hightower, Jalen Rieger, Marquise Goodwin, and Travis Fulgham. That would be a big wide receiver core to build on, and Deshaun Jackson as one of our backups with Alshon Jeffrey. But Jalen Hurts and Alshon Jeffrey, I can see in the game that they have kind of a connection because he passed it to Alshon Jeffrey a couple times, and one was a pass interference call, but the others were pretty good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who Jalen Hurts can connect with this week, and in general, who's going to be on this Eagles team next year because it's going to be a lot of big changes.
I don't know if we can keep both Deshaun and Alshon or either. There's just too much money. Their contracts combined next year add up to almost $30 million.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Two players. That's half of the $60 million over the capper, and they both got to go.
I'd take $1 million.
We're going into rebuilding mode in the next 3 years, and I also think that we have to keep one of them. It's like we have to keep one of them because the wide receiver core would be kind of bad next year, and Marquise Goodwin is like 30, so he's getting pretty old, and so I think we're building around the next couple of years. We're trying to build a young but good team.
Definitely. I think that's the way. But hey, man, I appreciate you coming on here, Braden. Always dropping that knowledge, man.
Yes, sir.
But fly Eagles fly, brother. I hope you enjoy the game today. Peace. All right, next we got Jay Williams in the building.
What's going on?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Shoot.
How you feeling about this season, brother?
Awful. Disappointed. That's the simple stuff that come to mind. But my thing is, I knew our future hinged on this season going forward before it even started. If you think about it, we was counting on Carson restructuring to get out this hole. So now you have questions about Carson, and I don't know anybody who would give up guaranteed money, just to make it easy on somebody else who's not going to be here.
Yeah, especially when we're benching you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It might put a little bit of a wrench in that plan.
Yeah. But I'm looking at it like this. This team is at least in a 3-year rebuild, if not a 5 to 7 year rebuild right now.
See, I don't see it taking that long, just because I feel like we do have a little bit of talent. It really depends on the decisions that are made on the talent, on the players that we have on the team. If we can build something around, like if Jalen Hurts is really good and we build something around him, I think maybe it might take a little bit longer just because I think he has to still develop. But if this was just a one-off year for Carson and it's just getting, younger around him and getting him a better offensive line and, it's just kind of one of those type years, then I think it could be like a 1 or 2 year type thing that we just have to turn the roster around. But you could be 100% right. It could be a 5 to 7 year thing. It all depends on the decisions. If we don't get rid of Doug and we just keep everybody and they're all the problems, I can see this taking way longer than it should. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with you. It could be very long, but I'm hoping that it's not.
Now 7 is drastic. I will admit. But like, if you think about it, Lane Johnson under contract until like 2025. Brandon Brooks under contract till 2025. Fletcher Cox is under contract until 2022.
Mm-hmm.
But if you did whatever you decide to do with him, that's a different story. BG is under contract for another 2 years, I think, a year, something like that.
Yep.
And
I think it's
you got
2.
Slay. You just signed him to a 3-year, 4-year deal. And these guys are going to be 34, 35 when that contract is done, you know. And before you can move them, they might still be 33, 34.
Mm-hmm.
Costing them, you know.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No. Are you good? But I'm saying like this. Plus, in addition, we don't have any, you know, definitive young talent that's, hey, I'm an elite young talent, you know, in the NFL right now. So it looks real rough. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Don't get me
definitely.
wrong. I like Miles Sanders. I like Dallas Goedert. Anybody else you can name me? Nobody. You can't.
I feel like we have a lot of good players. Not like you said though, nobody like world beater, no changing.
Yeah.
You know, no MVP candidates like we had with Wentz in
Yeah.
2017. So it's definitely nerve wracking. You know, and a lot of our good players, even like you said, Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert, are seen to be, you know, oft injured players. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say injury prone, but they
Yeah.
seem to be getting nicked up a lot lately, and that's not something you want to see out of franchise players. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to say the least. How do you feel about Jalen Hurts, though? Do you think that he'll do well today, or do you think this is going to be just more the same, just a different name on the back of the shirt?
I'm hoping, I'm praying that it's different. Don't get me wrong. I love Carson Wentz. I root for Jalen Hurts because he's a black quarterback. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna be straight up with y'all.
I feel
Look,
you.
that's it's not too many of them, and you know everybody know about the stigmas and all that stuff. Blah 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 blah. But I'm rooting for him based off of that and hoping he's something. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't get a good feeling about it. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Think about this: the talent that he's working with now, and with the Eagles, you may be able to compare it to what he had at Oklahoma and Bama. The difference is you're playing an NFL team now, legitimate NFL team now. So it don't it don't bode well. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
definitely.
Like trying to talk yourself into it, and you're just like, I don't even know if I can even say this.
Look, I try and set my when I talk about the Birds. Sometimes I try and set my feelings for them aside and just look at what you see. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a wide receiver core that's limited. There's a head coach who's struggling right now with play calling, and you have an offensive line who's shot. I think you have a defense that's overrated, and you put it this way, you can exploit 2/3 of the defense. Think about it, the linebackers in your second corner, they're easy money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you talking about New Orleans, Sean Payton has a system. He's known for picking teams apart. Look what he did to us, 2 years ago? It's like 48-7, something like that. And we had a lot better team then than not team, but a lot better defense then than we do now. You get what I'm saying?
And you can even, if you want to go back a little bit into history, I feel like we were like within a touchdown, and not the Alshon game. I feel like we played them not too long ago, and we had like none of our cornerbacks when Trayvon LeBlanc was playing, and that's like his coming out party.
You talking about the Devontae Bosby year?
Was that I can't remember the exact.
Yeah,
but that we kept it close, and we literally had no team. You know what I'm saying? Like we had like our fourth or fifth our cornerbacks. I think you're right. Yeah, Devontae Bosby.
Well, matter of fact, that was a game. Malcolm Jenkins was that the game Malcolm Jenkins flicked off Sean Payton?
Yeah, I believe it was.
No, I thought that was a blowout though.
No, the game that I'm thinking about though, it was a close game. I gotta look it up.
You probably thinking about the Dallas game.
Was it that? I know it was one game that we just either way.
Yeah.
Like my point of it being
because last time we played the Saints outside of the playoffs, we got destroyed.
Yeah, I remember that game, but I can't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of the Packers game. I know there was a game that we had literally no cornerback. The point of all this being
Yes.
is that we've done more with less sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like when we
Yeah.
don't have our stars in, sometimes it makes our coaches make better decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
or at least like forces their hand into better play calling. Maybe I don't know, but we just need to see something that gives me some type of hope. And maybe that's a
Yeah.
selfish thing, but I 100% agree with you with the whole Jalen Hurts, you want to see him be something just because of the stigma, just because of the, what a black quarterback is supposed to be nowadays in the NFL. You don't really want to keep that stigma, like you said. So I want to see him succeed, and obviously, I want the Philadelphia Eagles to have a good quarterback. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Yes. At the end of the day, that's what I'm looking for.
let me ask you a question. I asked Brandon this. I want to get your opinion on this. If Jalen Hurts is to ball out, if Jalen Hurts is to do very good, do you think that will be more on Wentz, or will that be just like is that an indictment on Wentz if Jalen Hurts balls out today with the same roster basically?
It depends on what happens. So if your play calling is, how can I say this? If your play calling adjusts to get playmakers the ball in space, was something that they didn't do for Wentz, and they go in, okay, Rager takes a 5-yard slant, 45 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a simple read. That's a 2-step in throw read. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it's not there, you throw a check down to the running back coming out the flat. It's that simple. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But if it's, okay, he's elevating the talent around him. So same plays, boom, 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 boom. Oh, he marching us up and down the field, and he's actually looking good. That's a different story than Doug changing what he does to accommodate the quarterback. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if he does that and it does look good, that puts the whole franchise in a worse situation. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have a quarterback that you said you gave all this money to, but you didn't help him out. But now I don't know if it's that he shot, or is it that you just didn't help him now?
Right.
It's just so many questions, so much gray area. And think about this: you're $60 million over the cap right now. That is the worst situation you can be in right now. You can't add free agents coming in the offseason. The best thing you have going is your draft picks, but who's going to be the GM?
Facts.
I don't even know. I don't even know how we got ourselves in this position. We all thought Howie was a genius a couple years ago, and all of a sudden now we're like, holy sh.
I think Howie still has a plan. I think Howie knows how he was going to get himself out of this. But I think us as fans are tired of Howie. So now it's like, will someone else be able to get us out of this? Because like that's the kind of handcuff, you know what I'm saying, that we kind of have with him right now. But Brandon, do you have to stay? It's about to be 12:45. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Nah, you keep it going. We're good for now.
All right. But yeah, all right. So yeah, what was I saying? That's the handcuff that we're kind of in right now, is that we're bad. We are in bad cap situation. So it's like you want to move on from certain people, but it might be a little bit hard to move on from someone that put you in that situation.
My thing is,
go ahead.
What? Oh, my thing is, next season was your year to get out of all that cap stuff. For me, put it this way: you have a bunch of young players that finally get a chance to grow and play. You get what I'm saying? Because you're cutting old guys to make sure you are in good standing with the cap. In 2022, basically the only contract that's on your roster right now is Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Carson Wentz, Lane Johnson, and Brandon Brooks. Everybody else you're gone. You know what I'm saying? Rookie deals and all that other stuff. But that's the year where you can say, okay, this guy's a keeper. This guy, we can replace him with somebody in free agency. We may be able to look for somebody like this in the draft, so on and so forth. And 2022 was the year where you kind of officially have been retooled and you can go ahead and make a run. But because Carson's playing bad, that contract, you don't want to restructure him and extend the money out, extend the guarantee money out, it just puts you in a really bad bind right now. You know what I'm saying?
I think the best.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll say this quick and then you can go.
No.
I think the best case scenario for me right now is that Jalen Hurts does very well, but not well enough to take Wentz's job. Just well enough to get us a first round, maybe second round pick out of him, or package him and move up in the draft somewhere. That's like best case scenario for me. Because then you get, and it's not because I don't want Jalen Hurts to be our quarterback. It's because of the money. That's really all it is. It's just, we can't get rid of Carson's contract. So it would be nice for him to figure this out. You know what I mean? And we all know there's stuff surrounding it. We all know that it's not just Carson before we start getting attacked in the comments. We know it's not just Carson. But at the end of the day, he is the quarterback. He is the main, he's the conductor. If the train is going the wrong way, you have to see what the conductor is doing first. And it is what it is. He's going to get all the glory when we win. He's going to get all the blame when we lose. That's just kind of how it works in football. But I want to ask you one last question before I get these other guys on here. Do you think Jalen Hurts will finish the game as the starter for the Eagles, or do you think he will get pulled for Carson Wentz at some point?
He's going to finish the game.
Facts.
Do you think he'll be good?
Depends on what you consider good.
Sure.
So if you think I think he's going to go out there and look like the second coming of, I don't know, he's going to look like Deshaun Watson out there and lead that team? No. Do I think that we're going to see things in Jalen Hurts that, hey, there's something to build on there with? Yes. You get what I'm saying? Definitely. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, man, now that Carson's gone, Jalen Hurts is going to change life. No, that's ridiculous. And my whole stance with Wentz is, before this year, we never said we won in spite of Wentz. You get what I'm saying? It was mostly him doing something to pull us out of a situation and we win. And there was other situations where the defense has let him down or the drops have let him down. And because I can actively say we've lost 7 games because the defense has given up more than 3 scores in the fourth quarter. Or we've dropped passes that were game-winning touchdowns. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So that I believe in Wentz, but the thing is, it's this year he shot. You know what I'm saying? I just hope he can rebuild back to what he was. You get what I'm saying? Because that confidence is shot.
That's all this season's got to be about. It's about rebuilding, and not just like player-wise. It's about getting that confidence back in these players and getting that scheme back and figuring out what we are, getting that identity. I think that's a big thing moving forward. So, last question: what's your score prediction, man? Do you have 2 score predictions like everybody else?
Nope. I'm going 13-27.
Losing or winning?
Ooh.
Oh, we're definitely losing. I'm a realist here. Look, put it this way: like I treat the birds like my child. If I had a child, you get what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell my child you can get in the boxing ring with Floyd Mayweather and say you can win at the age of 6. That's crazy. No,
facts.
I'm going to tell you where you stand, what you may need to do to improve your standing, but let's build and work on what's coming forward. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Also, I wanted to touch on that thing about Dillard. You're not getting much for Dillard, man. He ain't played.
I think we'll get. My thing is, people are going to be desperate, and it's not like he's. And when he has played, he's played well outside of the Seahawks game when he was on his opposite position, which he kind of voiced that he didn't want to do. I mean, it's not a good look that you don't want to do something, but at the same time, I feel like he has enough talent that somebody would reach for him. And like I said, it wouldn't be a top 10, top 20 pick. It would probably be one of those late round picks, maybe a first or second round pick. That's me. That's just me.
So, but here's the thing. Why would I waste a first or second round pick for a guy in the league who hasn't played in 2 years when I can go get a free agent or I can trade for a veteran for a lot cheaper, or I can go draft my own guy that my scouting community is going and said, hey, I got the stamp on that guy.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Would they be cheaper than him? I mean, he's still very young and he's still
Right.
on his rookie contract
Yeah,
and he has a 5th-year option. I mean, there's going to be a team that would be like, there's value in him. That's how I
yeah.
feel. You know what I'm saying?
But the
Look at
thing
what
is,
Big V
not
got.
first or second round value, maybe fourth.
Fourth.
His fourth,
Come
I don't
on.
know about
I
fourth.
wouldn't even trade him at that point. At that
Yeah,
point, you
but
might as
look at
well
what
move
Big
him
V
around the
got.
line.
Yeah, look at what Big V got. Big V, I mean, he was our swing tackle. I mean, yeah, he won a Super Bowl, so I guess, it's a little bit different, but he got paid. He got paid out his butt, and he never really was that number one tackle. You know what I'm saying? He just showed that he was good.
Yeah,
And
but
I don't think he's even shown that he's elite right now. Lions don't have
we
the best
forgot
offensive
that
line.
Big V replaced Dillard.
He
forgot about
replaced
that.
JP.
Huh?
He replaced JP. You mean
Mm-mm,
Dillard
mm-mm.
replaced Big V?
Now I'm talking about I forgot what game it was. One game Big V was starting. Well, no, sorry. Dillard was starting at left tackle. The next game, Big V started at left tackle for the rest of the time until Peters came back. And then they started switching them left and right and doing all the other stuff. So be careful when you say you can get.
I know. I've seen him play 3 games, and then he went over. He switched over to right tackle for the Seahawks and looked
Hey,
abysmal.
man, some people just don't want to play right tackle.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not everyone's a swing tackle.
What's his name?
Rare people, maybe.
Danielle Hunter ate his lunch when he played the Vikings. So yeah,
Hunter's he's an X factor for a reason on Madden.
Yeah. We'll see. See. I mean, I feel like we have a lot of depth on that offensive line. So if you're talking to me and asking me like, oh, what would you do with that O line? I'm probably looking at what we could get for Dillard and moving forward, Jordan Mailata, because Jordan Mailata is not going to ask for that much. Realistically,
yeah.
I don't see him being like, even if he has like an all-pro type season, I don't see him being like, oh,
I wouldn't be surprised if you tried to jump and sign him to like a 3-year deal right now worth $12 million.
Yeah, just to have him under contract.
Because that contract is movable. That contract, it doesn't cost you much. Everybody else wants it. And if you got to cut them for whatever reason, it's quick, easy, and it's not that much, not too many repercussions.
Right. Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? But yes. I know y'all got people waiting in here, man. My fault. Taking up so much time.
It's my fault because I just keep the conversation going. I'll be like, oh, this is the last question. And then I ask like 4 more. So it's
you good,
my fault.
You good.
But I appreciate you coming on, brother.
No problem. No problem.
Looks, man.
God bless. Be safe.
You too, man. Y'all be easy.
You too, man.
All right, so we got 3 more people. I know you have things to do.
This is my
So I'll
be watching though. I'll be chiming in the comments.
All right, I'm gonna ignore all of your comments. So, but brother, you already know what it is. I'll talk to you.
Yes,
later,
sir.
And happy birthday to your moms. Tell her I said hi.
We'll do.
All right.
Thank you, man. Peace.
All right, so I'm gonna keep on taking these. We're gonna take these last 3, and then I'm out of here, and we're gonna watch some football, man. My guy, Tone DeShields.
Philly Dutch, what's
brother?
goody? How you feeling, man? How you feeling, bro? How you feeling, man? Talk to me, man.
I've been better. I've been worse. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited though. I'm excited for this game, bro. Like irrationally.
I'm excited too. Like I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie, man. Just building off what Jalen said. I can't lie, man. Wentz is my guy. Don't get it twisted. I rock with Wentz. But I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm happy to see a black quarterback, man. I can't lie. I like it. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons I'm rooting for him. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it G. I'm a little biased when it comes to that, man. I know right now the black quarterback is making a resurgence in the league right now. With Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, the beige. I call Pat Mahomes the beige messiah. You know what I'm saying?
Light skins back, bringing light skins back,
bro. Like you know what I'm saying. So, but like just as far as our Eagles team, man, when it comes to this game, I'm going to be really, really. I'm going to be paying close attention to. I'm going to be paying close attention to Doug Peterson, and each time Hurts makes a play, they're going to show that camera on Wentz's face. They will. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really going to be paying close attention to Doug Peterson because I had a live stream earlier this morning. We was on for about an hour and a half, had a call in. And, one of the questions I asked people was, if Doug manages to scheme for Jalen Hurts' skill set. How are you guys going to feel? How are you guys going to feel about that? How are we going to like? Is that an indictment on how he feels about Carson Wentz?
Yeah, I mean that's it's gonna be it's interesting has been my keyword for like the past 3 weeks because it's like
Definitely.
every little move, every little thing now makes such a big difference. Because if like you said, if Doug goes out there and he starts, showing 2017 type play calling, it's going to raise a lot of questions, and I think the person that's going to have the most questions will be Carson Wentz. I don't think it's
Right.
going to be the, us as fans being like, oh, what's going on? I think Carson's going to be like, really, man, but it's also might be an indictment on Carson. Are you the one at the line checking these plays? Are you the
Right.
one,
And that's the thing
making
I'm
some
worried
of the
about.
mistakes? So it's going to be very interesting. I think Jalen Hurts is going to go with the game plan, and I think that's either going to be a very helpful thing for Doug Peterson, or that's going to expose Doug Peterson. So Jalen has nothing to lose at this point. I think it's
Oh yeah,
everybody around
Jalen
him.
has nothing to lose.
Yeah, I think
Honestly,
it's everybody
like
around
we
him.
all know this situation is dysfunctional to the fullest. So Jalen has absolutely nothing to lose. If anything, he has everything to gain.
Facts.
But when it comes to Carson Wentz, it's like this situation is so fishy. This situation is so interesting because of the fact that if Jalen Hurts does well, and this is the part where I kind of feel like I'm always going back and forth, right? Because if he does well, that it then appears as if Carson Wentz is just unable to run offense, right? And then it looks like, okay, it wasn't Doug Peterson's fault the whole time. You put a different quarterback in, and things go smoothly. So it looks like Carson Wentz is the one who's unable to perform.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas though if Jalen Hurts does terribly and and everything looks pretty much the same, regardless of who's in there, then you're looking at Doug Peterson like, okay, my man, like we got two different quarterbacks in here and nothing's happening. What's going on? And let's make it real clear. Jason Kelsey called out the coaching staff this past week. He called them out blatantly. That says a lot to me. He said, listen, let's make one thing clear. No one showed up this season. No one has done what they're supposed to do. O-line has it. Receivers have it. Most importantly, coaches have it. He said, I put it on coaches to set up a functional offense so we're able to perform. And he made it a point to constantly call out coaching. He made it a point. And that says something to me. And, if Carson, Doug Peterson, he put himself in a situation now where it's this game, in my humble opinion, will define whether we retain Doug Peterson or move on from Doug Peterson. And the same goes on for Wentz. This game is very defining because this may be the hardest matchup. This may be the hardest matchup or the toughest defense we've ever run up against all season. And we're going to see how Jalen Hurts performs. I got a question for you. Like, do you think this game is a make or break for Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz?
Now, I'm glad that you asked that because I wanted to say something anyways. So I was kind of on the train of getting Carson some time off. I'm not going to say bench because I feel like that's a sore word for some people. But I was kind of yelling that we might need to give him a little time even after the Bengals game. I think that's really when I was just like, I'm kind of ready to see something new. And this is why. And this is, to answer your question blatantly, it's like, I think it is. But at the same time, I'm very nervous that we're going to do what we always do as Eagles fans and as the Eagles staff do, is we see one good half and we think that it's fixed. And we saw that a lot with Carson. I feel like the first, you could say 5-6 games that he played, he had terrible first 3 quarters. And, obviously there's stuff going around it. Don't get me wrong. But he had the first 3 quarters, we had no offense. And then he would have like a decent fourth quarter and everybody would be like, but see, he can do that. And there was no consistency. So I'm nervous that we're going to see 3 games of Doug Peterson calling decent plays. You know what I'm saying? But he might still be the problem. We have to realize that. I don't think that these 3 games can change what we saw in the first half. I think we have to still realize that happened, and we have to realize why that happened. But it can make you feel a little bit better in a sense, but I'm just nervous. I don't know if that really answers the question. I'm still nervous that
your answer is perfect and it sums up our entire season. Honestly, like it's either this or that. If this happens, well, this got to happen. And then it's just too many unknowns, too many things. See, this is what happens when a team doesn't have an identity. This is
Mm-hmm.
exactly what happens when you're trying to make shift an offense and you're grabbing at straws, trying to just hold this thing together with popsicle sticks and glue. Like this
Exactly.
offense is literally being held together by popsicles, glue, and shoestrings. Like this,
Mm-hmm.
like it's crazy to me, and like I really, I got so much love for Carson, right? So much love for him, man. I want him to succeed. We all know what he's capable of, and it's no way all that just disappears.
Exactly.
There's no way all that talent is like just disappears. Like Philly Fresh at the best. It's like the Monster stole his talent out of Space Jam.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Facts.
how Sway? I don't understand. And it's like, I understand. Like we all know there comes a point in time where at the end of the day, if somebody's open, throw them the ball. It's just that simple. And there are times where Carson Wentz has not done that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And but in the same breath, there are times where Doug Peterson, he's just been so stubborn that he refuses to run the ball. Like I like this is one narrative I will never let in. Like, why is it that we're throwing the ball 35, 40 plus times a game?
Nope.
Any other offense, when they know their quarterback is struggling, they're going, okay, let's get the run game going. Let's get him into a rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Let's kind of bring the front seven in. So at that point we throw a play action and we catch them over the top. It's like you can do things.
Facts.
You can do things. You can make adjustments to help anybody on your team. Anybody.
And if you look at last year, we, obviously were decimated on the wide receiver front, and we were running the ball. We were doing a lot of good screens, a lot of good play calling. What happened to that? Like, a lot of people want to go back to 2017 and be like, oh, it was all Frank Wright. It was all Frank Wright. He had decent game plans going back to last year.
Right,
it's not
right.
like, this
is it fair
this
to
is,
say, though, is it fair to say that the game planning, though, was a gradual regression each and every
definitely.
season? You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like to your point, I will say, yeah, there were times I'm like, okay, he's calling his game. You know what I'm saying? We have a chance.
Definitely.
But I can't ignore that there's been a steady regression in play calling.
Definitely.
There has been, and it's been hidden and masked through heroics by Carson Wentz and guys playing above their pay grade and so on and so forth, and practice squad guys coming in from the fold just balling out like a Greg Ward last year. Who saw Greg Ward coming? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? This year, who saw Travis Fulgham coming? Nobody. And just keying in on the Travis Fulgham situation, like, bro, get Alshon Jeffrey off the field, dude.
Facts.
He is literally sucking up snaps from Hightower, Quez, Fulgham. Like why is he here? Like, bro, it's like I have no ill will to any of these guys, man. I understand what we've gained. We got a Super Bowl out of these guys, man. They laid it all out on the line. I would never forget Alshon Jeffrey's Super Bowl interview pregame. I will never forget it. My man came to the interview with the Scully on, with the Easy E shades on, and he said, listen, I'll be honest with you. If it was up to me, we wouldn't even be here in Minnesota. We'd be playing the game in Philly. Because this conversation, nothing against you, my brother. I know you got a job to do, but all this media, all this stuff, this ain't nothing but distraction to me, man. I'm here to take care of business. Facts. When he said that, I said, oh, we win it. So I'm not going to take away what Jeffrey gave us. Jeffrey gave us a certain swagger. I will never take that away. But dog, he doesn't have it anymore, man. I love Jeffrey. He don't have it anymore.
I feel like it's somebody's draining it. Somebody's taking this culture. And I did a video not too long ago where I was like, is Howie killing our culture? And it kind of feels like that. It feels like everybody's seeing that their head coach, maybe they do love Doug. Maybe they're all like, yo, Doug's my man. You know what I'm saying? But I've worked at jobs where I've loved my assistant manager. I'm like, yo, that's my guy. That's my boy. Like, I love working with him.
I like where you're going with this. I like where you're going with this. Keep going.
When I see the main manager talking junk to my boy and my boy not handling himself, it's like, bruh.
Yes.
You're supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold down what you're supposed to do, bro. You might not be the manager. You might not be all right, let's just say it. Doug, you're not Howie. We understand you're not Howie. You're not Jeffrey Lurie. You don't own the team. Right. But you're our head coach. Hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I don't want to see you crying in the corner because your boy told you that you got to work on Saturday, a double.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, it seemed like Howie is overstepping Doug when it comes to who gets to play and who doesn't get to play. And I feel like Doug, he not just gonna fire you, the head coach. stand your ground. Say, listen, no, Howie, I'm the coach, bro. I understand what you're trying to do, but listen, I know what's going on out here, not you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you made a legit point. If you're a worker and you're a system and you so used to dealing with your manager, right? And you see him do everything, you rock out with him, you love him. You know what I'm saying? He holds you down, he makes sure you good, he makes sure everybody on the same page. Then when the regional come in, the supervisor come in, that one day out of the week, you see your manager just curl up. He's not even the same man. It's like, hold on, wait. This is the guy I know. Who is this guy that I'm seeing now?
And now I'm supposed to respect you?
And I'm supposed to respect you. I'm supposed to be motivated to get up and ball. And to your point about the culture, like I feel like someone is during this culture. When Doug first got here, there was a legit culture. There was an identity. Those first 3 years he was here, Carson's rookie year, the sophomore year, and even the year before that in 2018, there was a legit culture. You know what I'm saying? Even with the hungry dogs run faster, like we had a culture. And it seems like now we really don't know who we are or who we want to be. We don't know who our leader is. It honestly, it seems like this team is following the hottest hand. Like, and that's all they had to bite onto. And it's sad, man, because we have so many dogs in the locker room. We got so many people that's really willing to lay it out on the line and sacrifice it all. BG, Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, Rodney McLeod. You know what I'm saying? Who else we got out there? Fletcher Cox. We got guys out there.
Even you want to bring up Carson. I mean, you've seen Carson put his whole life on the line every week.
I'll be honest with you, bro. The game I knew, you want to know the game I knew, and I know I'm kidding. I know I'm holding you up,
You're
bro.
Good, bro. You're good.
Like, you want to know the one game that I knew Carson Wentz is not our problem? It was that Baltimore Ravens game. I'm watching him play the way he's playing, but it wasn't just that game. It was a play, that 40-yard run. That 40-yard run, in my humble opinion, summed up who he was as a player, as a man. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I'm watching him drop back, read. He made a decision. He took off. He breaking tackles. He just fighting for everything. That summed up to me who he was.
Facts. And I mean, that point too, this is going to be sounding a little negative, Nancy, but it is what it is. That was also the point that I was kind of like, bro, we got to just sit this kid because it's like he's going to die out there. Nobody's helping him. Like, nobody's helping him. That play was a product of everyone else not doing their job. And it's unfortunate. It's a beautiful play. Don't get me wrong. I love you once for doing it. But that play,
I don't want him doing that, right?
Yeah, it just summed
it's a shame we got to do that. You're absolutely right.
Exactly. Yeah, it just summed it up like this whole season that nobody else does their job. If he would have got hurt, we would have been blaming Carson. It sucks because I don't want to see that man hurt. We all know what he can do, what he's capable of. So there's some good from this season, and I'm sure if we really sat down, which I'm gonna DM you. Me and you are gonna talk. We gotta,
man.
We gotta get a collab going pretty soon.
Man, you gotta work, get this thing going, man. Because we all up and coming, bro. We all working together, trying to grow our channels, and if everybody eat, we all eat, man.
Exactly. My schedule's sucked, but
I get it. It's bro. Listen, bro. I get it, man. We all got our lives, man. We all got family and so on and so forth. There's so many things that go on. COVID is in the way, so it's just so many things that's really just getting in the way of us really creating what we want to, bro. But again, like I'm grateful for you allowing me to come onto your platform, bro.
Of course,
share how I feel about the season. And again, bro, like we definitely got to work and put this work in, man. I've been linking with Fresh. I've been linking with Notion lately. I linked up with running back RB. I linked up with who else I linked up with? I linked up with my man Philly Mike from the Philly Talk podcast a couple times, called into them. So, I'm always looking to work with guys, grind it out, and talk this Philly Talk, man, because at the end of the day, this is all we got, man.
Facts. I'm gonna definitely DM you because I've been checking you out. I see you on all because I'm always in different lives and stuff. So
I'm always bouncing around. I try to, what I did, bro? I wanted to make it a point that I'm here. So like I literally be in everybody live stream. I'll donate super chats. I'm just a real hands-on creator, bro. And I like to really make sure everybody eat, man, and make sure everybody eat and make sure everybody know that they got my support wholeheartedly, first and foremost.
I love this stuff. So and then it's all like you said, it's community, it's a family, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're definitely gonna work. You're gonna be getting a DM from me pretty soon because like I said, and I saw the one that you did with or I'm going to see the one that you're gonna be doing with Notion because that's coming out today or tomorrow? What was that?
I'm not sure.
At like 8 o'clock.
Okay. So I'm most likely we're gonna have one later on today, knowing me, Fresh and Notion. I know we had one last game, But yeah, regardless, like I'm always looking to work with my guys for sure, man. And you too, man. We definitely got to collab. Do something. However it works out, we're gonna work it out, man. Definitely.
Definitely. But yeah, I'm gonna get this last caller in, man. But hey, I appreciate you coming in here,
I
bro. You already
appreciate you,
know.
my man. Thank
You
you so
already
much for
know,
the
bro.
time, my guy. You be safe, man. And
Yes,
listen,
sir.
go Birds, man. That's all we got.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. God bless, man. Be safe, man.
Same to you, man. God bless.
All right, we're gonna do this last call. I appreciate everybody that is here, man. I love you guys. If you are still here before we get this last caller, and be sure to hit the links in the description. Go subscribe. Go get that merch. Look at all that merch. Go get yourself a neck gaither. I think that's what it's called. You know what I'm saying? Have Philly Philly all up in your face. That's what I'm talking about. That sounded so weird. But anyways, next and last caller, we're gonna end it off with a bang. My guy, Lindy End Zone. Caught a mid sip. Caught a mid sip. Got the Mavericks
Yeah.
cup out. There we go.
Uh-huh.
What's going on,
Good
brother? How you
catch.
doing, man?
Good catch. My Mavs took the first preseason game yesterday. That means nothing, but a win today. Took out Milwaukee.
Hey,
No,
it's a beautiful
I'm
thing having basketball back, bro.
yeah. I'm glad to see what they're doing over there with they adding Josh Richardson and a good trade with the 76ers. Always like to work with other teams, especially Philly. And I still got a soft spot for the Sixers. I was huge fan of Allen Iverson, and it broke my heart to see him retire. And he was my hero growing up personally. But yeah, man, I'm excited for basketball.
Facts. So let's talk a little Eagles. You know what I'm saying? How you feeling about this game? How you feeling about Hurts, man? You think he's gonna do something today?
Yeah, honestly, just by listening to Doug Peterson and his press conferences and everything, he sounds like he wants to support his rookie, and we can get a little bit irritated about it all we want, but at the end of the day, he still has to do his job no matter who the quarterback is in there. I mean, especially with a guy like Jalen Hurts. They drafted this kid, and now we're kind of in a I don't want to say unexpected, but an unfortunate situation where we do have to play him, and it's still your responsibility as the head coach as to whoever's out there on the field. You want to put them in the best position possible to win the football game. Granted, this is the toughest game. This is the toughest game at the end of the year, as you're looking at the number one defense of the Saints and all them big time players that they got over there. The Cardinals can compete defensively, but they've been struggling lately. So I understand there's mixed opinions on starting Jalen Hurts against the Saints, because it's like, oh, you're kind of throwing his feet to the fire and whatnot. But this is a quarterback in college who won a national title at like 19 years old. He's been there now. Obviously, those big time moments in college, they don't translate to the NFL to the level that they need to. But he's used to the big game atmosphere, and I think that's one thing that's going to carry him positively against the Saints. And at the same time, it definitely helps that we're going to be playing this game at the link.
Yeah, facts. I wish that, I think Malcolm Jenkins said it in his press conference. I wish there would be fans, because it would be rocking. But it's going to be interesting. Like you said, he has a duty as a head coach, Doug Peterson, to make sure his players are put in the best position. Now, he has not, to our standards, at least as fans, he has not done that for Carson Wentz. So while I can understand, people's frustration, it might look weird, but I think it's going to be out of necessity more. So I feel like he thinks Carson Wentz can do a lot more. You know what I'm saying? So he puts him in those positions to try and make heroic plays, which he's not wrong. Carson Wentz is probably arm wise and, just being a pure quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
He's better than Jalen. You know what I'm saying? I think we can all agree on that. But Jalen has, like you said, he kind of has those qualities that you can't really chart. You know what I'm saying? Obviously he's a good runner and everything, but we've watched him lead a couple different teams, you know what I'm saying, as a man, not just that, lead them to a bunch of victories, but he's gotten in locker rooms and been that guy for a couple different teams already. So
he comes into Alabama, he backs up Tua, he takes a bad defense at Oklahoma to the championship game, semifinal game.
exactly.
So I
There's
mean,
no
the
denying it.
intangibles are there. The intangibles are there, but you can argue 2 points on the matter of Doug Peterson as to one, he's coaching for his job at the moment, and two, he kind of has no choice but to make it work with Jalen Hurts because this is their last option. Nate Sudfeld has been inactive for how long now? You already made the decision to make Jalen Hurts your backup. You got to make him work on the field.
Exactly. And we don't know who makes these decisions at this point. I feel like that's the biggest problem in Philadelphia at this point. But like, if we see Jalen Hurts do well, I think it's gonna just confuse Eagles fans even more, especially like if it's like a decent game, you know what I'm saying? Like if he goes out there and he throws the ball for 250 and has like 60 yards running and doesn't do nothing crazy but doesn't mess up, and we win the game. I think if we win the game, we're just going to be messed up in the head. There's no way to really take it. It's like, so are we a playoff team now? Are we still like going back to like, let's look at what the draft picks are? Like, it just sucks that everybody sucks,
Yeah, no. Any given Sunday, I guess. No, I mean, the way I look at it, it kind of reminds me of now, obviously, these 2 quarterbacks are on completely different wavelengths because one's a rookie and one's a 10-year veteran. But we go back to 2017 when Nick Foles had to come in and back up Carson Wentz and he had to finish out the Rams game. And moving forward, there was no expectations. I mean, we didn't have any expectations for Nick Foles. Some of us were even questioning how far he could take us, even though we had the number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. He struggled against the Raiders. He struggled against the Falcons in the divisional. The defense bailed him out on the last play. But, in the 2 games that it really mattered, he performed. So you're going into this Saints game now. Granted, the competition is completely different. Like we said, it's going to be the hardest for Jalen Hurts. But it makes it easier on yourself when there's no expectations and you can go into the game and be yourself. Like Doug Peterson said in his press conference, he said he wants Jalen Hurts to be Jalen Hurts. He doesn't want him to be anything else. He doesn't want him to play in a system that he's not comfortable with. And that's all we've asked for Carson Wentz in the first place. We know what he is. We know what he is as a quarterback. I mean, perfect example. Josh Allen. Has anybody even really seen it? Josh Allen for the Bills. I mean, he came into his 3rd year. I think he struggled his first 2, but he's made such a turnaround in his 3rd year, and that's also that also ties to how much support he has through the organization. This work, he's had mechanical issues. They work on them. Good quarterbacks coach over there. They get him some playmakers. They're like, you're our guy. So let's go get you Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, exactly.
they go get him. They pick up guys in free agency. Cole Beasley. I mean, he turned his career around. He's becoming a pretty reliable receiver. And the comparisons between both of these quarterbacks are so ridiculous. You got Josh Allen at 6'5", 237. Carson's, for what we think, he's a bit heavier, but he's also 6'5". Big strapping dudes, big arms. They have maneuverability. I mean, Carson's 40 time, he ran a 4.9. He was one of the faster quarterbacks for his size. Josh Allen's about the same. So it's like that's a perfect example right there as to what you can have after improvement consistently. And we can go back to and I'll go to my grave thinking this, but we've heard the rumors before the bye week. We've seen the arguments that Howie Roseman's had with Doug Peterson at practice with the roster. We've seen them bickering. Mm-hmm. That right there is the hunger for power is so infectious because it's like a vibe of competition. You want to be higher. You want to be higher than the next person. And forever, ever since Chip Kelly's been here and Howie Roseman got kicked to the basement, however we want to say it, and he comes back out and we hear all the reports. Doug Peterson, one of the reasons they hired him is because he's a yes man. I'm kind of on the fence with that. It can go both. It can go both ways, but when it comes down to it, the biggest issue with this year is, as far as the front office and the coaching staff goes, not so much the coaching staff because they've gotten their promotions. Well, a la Press Taylor, that shouldn't have gotten one. He should be a quarterback's coach, but he's not. That's another story. That's another story that I got to get into because I couldn't stand listening to this press conference with the first question. But at the end of the day, you can't go into this as people in an organization wanting more for your own personal gain. Just know your role, stay in it, and work together to reach the ultimate goal that everybody should be on the same page about. I don't know how much simpler it can get.
Yeah, and if you look at some of the greatest, organizations, you look at some of the better franchises, everybody has their specific role. You know what I'm saying? If you look at teams like the Cowboys, who we've been talking junk about for the past 20 years, they don't seem to get it right because there's so much Jerry Jones in every single thing that happens. And we don't want that to become Howie Roseman, and we don't want that to become Jeffrey Lurie. I feel like we've heard a lot of Jeffrey Lurie's name, and I don't like that too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you're an owner. We need to let football people make football decisions. You know what I'm saying? And Jeffrey Lurie, I don't think has played a snap in his life. I don't think Howie Roseman has played a snap in his life. You have people that have played football, that know the game, that know the direction the game is going in. You have to trust them or you have to fire them. It's really that simple. You know what I'm saying? You have to, like you said, put everybody in their position and let them do that position. If Howie is going to work on contract, get him an extra comfy, streaming chair, let him sit at his desk and work those numbers. We'll get you a new calculator and all. But we can't let him make football decisions. That's not his
watch the scouts execute the draft.
Exactly.
let that happen. Let that happen.
Exactly. Like, bro, we'll get you the most comfy seats. Just please sit back and let the football people handle the decisions. But yeah, go ahead.
And unfortunately, according to reports, there's less than a 10% chance that Howie Roseman's not going to be the GM next year. So we kind of have to hold our breath here and just hope that we don't see the same thing going into 2021.
Yeah, I mean, my thing, man, if we're gonna go into next year with the same people, there's got to at least be defined roles. There has to at least be, because this year we don't really know who's making decisions, all the way down to play calling. We don't know obviously we know Doug's calling plays, but we don't know how much power Carson has at the line of actually changing plays or in the huddle of actually changing plays. We don't really know who's accountable or who's responsible for a lot of things, so that has to change. If we don't, if we don't get anybody better at, better quote unquote at certain staffing positions, we have to at least understand what their role is in our organization because it's making no sense.
I still feel that there could be carryover from some people in the coaching staff. If I could name one person specifically, I would, and I don't necessarily agree with the fact of, now it's Rich Gangarello is in charge of the 2-minute drill, and people are mixed on that. Some people don't like. Some people think he's not good at it. Some people think he's okay. I mean, almost every game that I've seen the 2-minute drill executed, a lot of the no huddle, Carson was pretty comfortable on that, and a lot of commentators in these football games are, they're seeing it, and they're saying on the live broadcast, they're like, the only time the Philadelphia Eagles seem to be in a good rhythm is in the no huddle and these 2-minute drills at the end of games. And as far as where we're going right now, I would like to see Scangarello as being the offensive coordinator, especially with his background, where he's come from, being brought up into the West Coast offense. Working with guys like Mike Shanahan. You can't, as from a play calling perspective. I mean, he's one of the top guys there. So, there was points where I felt that Rich knows Carson as a quarterback better than Doug does. As crazy as that sounds, and I went back to watching his press conference and what he felt that he could bring to the table at his position, and he went on to explain that this isn't new to the NFL. Like there's positions under positions, because the 49ers have done it before, but they were all under Shanahan, who was the play caller. So we shouldn't be, at this point, we shouldn't be in this type of confusion where how much responsibility of play calling does Press Taylor have? How much does Doug Peterson have? Jeff Stoutland's even working with the run game in the red zone too. It's like, what are we doing right now? Like I don't get it at all.
Yeah, it kind of brings me back to when like Andy Reid was on his like last legs, and he kind of put our offensive line coach as our defensive coordinator, Juan Castillo. Like that made no sense at all. It's just like, and then I feel like that year, I know this is kind of off topic, but I feel like that year our defense was actually doing decent. Like they were like nothing but close, low scoring, close games that we lost that year. We sucked that year. But and then we fired Juan Castillo when our offense was the problem. But either way, that's like very off topic. But I want to ask you this one question, then we about to end this up. But Pulling Card said, so it's obvious we will have a top 10 pick. Who would you guys like to see us get in the draft? Who would you like to see the Eagles pick up in the draft? Is there anybody that's been catching your eye?
I mean, a lot of the popular picks are, wide receiver, Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, guys like that. Me personally, I'm worried about the offensive line going into next year. I'm a little bit worried. 2 callers ago, we heard about the remainder on some of our veterans contracts, Lane Johnson and Brandon Brooks, and guys like that. Where do we move forward? I really want us to have some depth at the offensive line position, and I think it's going to diminish quite a bit going into next year. Do we know where Lane Johnson's going to be after surgery? Do we know where Brandon Brooks is going to be after surgery, after 2 Achilles tears? Lane Johnson has had ankle issues since 2016. So it's only a matter of time. Like, these guys are getting older. They're not getting younger. So it's going to be harder for them to sustain 100% playability going deep into regular season games. So it's like it's only a matter of time before Lane's ankle, gives up on him at some point. As long as but we have to trust that these guys stay conditioned at the same time. So, I mean, Andre Dillard, he doesn't look very good as a first round pick right now, and I don't think we would go offensive lineman in the first round again. Man, that's a tough one. I just don't see wide receiver in the first round, and Andre Dillard, I want to see what he can do. I know a lot of people are down on him right now, but he hasn't had a large sample size. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen him play a good stretch of games in 19 before he had to get moved to right tackle due to injury. And at the time, not everybody was on board with doing that, because a guy predominantly who played left tackle in college was graded as one of, if not the best left tackle in that draft class. So if they end up working his versatility, then I could see us keeping Dillard. I just think it's a small sample size. I don't want to give up on a first round tackle so early. Yeah. But he's also gonna get in the way of Jordan Mailata. So I don't know. I would like to see. This is tough because our drafts have been so terrible lately. Second round, we end up getting rid of Sidney Jones, so it's hard. I would like to see. I would like to see early corner, maybe an outside corner, an outside corner,
Yeah, for one.
not anything else. Young Slay's gonna need a partner, and it's a shame that Michael Chiquette's injured right now. Because a lot of us wanted to see what he can do. He's built like Slay, um, lengthy, good in coverage. Well, now he's hurt. I think he has a. I think he also has a hamstring issue like T.J. Edwards. So they're going to be out, and obviously we're not picking up linebacker. But I can't put my finger on one position in the first round, to be honest, because we have so
Yeah,
many holes.
I wouldn't mind a cornerback. It depends on who falls. Obviously, I wouldn't mind a cornerback,
Yeah.
but I would love to get Micah Parsons. I know that we hate linebackers apparently, but I love Micah Parsons and what he could do for the Eagles, man. So, what do you think about this game today? You think we could win this one? Let me get a score prediction before we get out of here.
Well, if I were to stay in the statistic system, how both teams are playing, the most we've scored as of late was like 17 points. So I know we hit a good number against the Steelers. How is Jalen Hurts going to do against the number one defense? That's the hardest question. The Saints are scoring at least 28 a game. So if our defense shows up pretty well, I'm gonna have to say 24-14. But I think the Saints can score more than that. Even though they're coming to the link, they're used to playing in their dome at home games. Nice climate control. So I'll keep it at 24-14. Saints.
That's respectable. That's respectable. Yeah, I mean, we got a shot, man. Any given Sunday, you never know. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully, Jalen Hurts can show us something. But other than that, I think I'm about to end this up, man. Go start getting ready for some football my darn self. But I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yeah, I caught it late. I see you've been on for over 2 hours. Yeah, got some football to look at.
Heck yeah, man. But I'll probably be back on here later, brother. But I appreciate you coming on here, man.
Yeah, anytime.
Yes, sir. God bless, bro.
Yeah, later.
All right. Shout out to everybody that's still in here, and shout out to everybody that came in and chilled with your boy. Like I said, be sure to hit all those links in the description. We got merch down there. We got the Discord chat down there. We got the subscription link down there. Make sure to subscribe to all the Philly content creators that, came through and voiced their opinion. Shout out to Tone. Shout out to Lindy Endzone. Infamous 2K. Everybody, thank you for coming through. I'm about to go watch some football. You know what it is. It's Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace.